It's funny though. I use the lottery numbers a lot as a good example, because when you play the lottery, you always think about, man, it'd be just so great to win. It'd be so great to win, and it probably would be great to win. But you don't worry about what would happen if you did win. You don't think to yourself, oh my goodness, if I won, my relationships with my brothers and sisters and my parents and my friends and everything would change. There's that crossing your mind. It's like, whatever. But a lot of times we worry about getting on a plane. How often, though, do we worry about getting in a car? And yet you have far greater likelihood, and people say this, like, they come up with these stats, and the stat is something like, 90% of all accidents occur within, like, 5 miles of your home. I'm like, thinking to myself, yeah, but that's where you do 90% of your driving. So it kind of makes sense. Or statistically, air travel is the safest way to travel. It's like, yeah, but I only get on a plane a couple times a year. I get in my car every day. So of course there's greater likelihood that I would have an accident in my car. I mean, what if I got on a plane every day? What if I got on a plane 3 or 4 times a day? Every day, because that's what I do. Now, where are the odds? I don't know. I mean, it still could be the safest way to travel. I'm just putting that out there as an example of, I wonder about that. I don't know. Oh, I gotta pee. Luckily, about, I guess I'm 10, 12 miles from home, but I won't have any traffic. But I kind of feel like it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I'd like to get to my home base, so to speak. I think we've talked about, I may have brought that up, getting to your home base, knowing when your home base. That was the fastest. I got the Mountain House Just In Case Essential Bucket. That's amazing. I ordered this last night. And it's at my door. The bucket, the food we talked about earlier. I don't know if this will be part of that show, because I'm at 37 minutes of recording at this point. I may break them up. You have to break them up anyway, because they're in 10-minute. Well, I think you can upload 20 minutes to Facebook. And that's probably where I'll post these. I could post them on YouTube or connect through YouTube. Probably can go longer there. There's gigabyte limits. I mean, I don't know why I'm shooting 1080. I think I'm shooting 1080 60. I can't tell from here. It's just backlit display. 1080 60. I gotta shoot this whole thing in slow-mo. I'm retarded. Double the amount of data. I have to switch that. But anyhow, it's just a test anyway. We're shooting on a 3+ black, and it actually has 2 microphone inputs, one on the top, one on the side, and I'm using a cage that allows that input. I used this the other day to shoot something, a walkthrough, and I had a separate microphone, like I hooked up a second system mic to handle the audio, and I was surprised that the audio directly from the GoPro, this particular model, was fantastic. I mean, it was attenuated. Now we're walking, and we're through a job site, and there's other factors involved. But I was pretty impressed. I was like, you know what? Now the guy was only this close, so it wasn't too hard for that to work. But I assumed that now, I'll use the Hero 2, which is only, the model right before this. How bad could the audio be? It was terrible, as you have probably heard by now if you've gone back and seen some of the earlier shows. It was terrible. And I think, in a show like this, audio means a big thing, because basically all you're doing is looking at me and maybe a little bit about, I don't know if you can see out the windows, probably not. So probably, everything, I'm like, oh, motorcycle, oh, car, blah. You don't see any of that. We think if the show does take off, we might do a turnaround, so so you can actually see what I'm seeing and see us at the same time, just to give you some, you know, perspective. Nothing going on right now, it's just traffic, but it might be more interesting than just looking at this mug. So speaking of mugs, I was like exercise and looks and all that kind of stuff were involved. So I did go to when I was back home on Long Island in, I don't know, I went to see my sister. Actually, this was like 2 years ago I went originally. And my brother, Greg, who's the police officer, Suffolk County PD, works the area kind of around our home. And now he's like a junior detective. Calls himself a junior dick. I think that's funny. And he works both kind of things. He's kind of old. He kind of came late. And so, you know, you're like 45 and you're running through the woods after some, you know, punk kid, you know, you're going to hurt yourself. And so he makes less money by being the junior detective, but it's easier on his body and he'll probably do better off and survive. So, hey, that's the life you get. Anyhow, I was back there and he's a big workout guy like I am. You know, and we have like the same thing. We're like a little bit overweight. You know, we carry a good 20 pounds extra and maybe more. And yet we like working out, we like exercising, you know, we have pretty good health. So he's working out at a place called Project Ice Sweat down, it's right on the Miller Place, Rocky Point border, right at that intersection by Brennisfield, across the street from Brennisfield, or North Shore Little League, for those of you who grew up after. And I'll tell you the Kurt Brennis story, why it's called Brennisfield in a second. But it was one of those things where I didn't want to get involved, but a lot of my sisters were involved in a thing called, what do they call that? It's like CrossFit. CrossFit is, you know, I don't know, I grew up in the gym and I grew up in the Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, pound heavy weights and do concentrated exercises and those kinds of things. And I just I came too late to the CrossFit world, so he took me to the class, and it was sort of a high intensity interval training CrossFit blend. It was a hybrid fusion between them where you do some CrossFit exercise, but none of the ones that could hurt you. And so I thought, I'll do that. Really liked it. Very hard. It's like super conditioning where you're doing things that cause you to be physically in better shape. You're not getting muscularly like super strong. Like I'm not going to lift, 300 pounds bench press anytime soon, but I'm getting in better shape. And I think that's kind of where I want to be at this age. I want to be physically healthy. I don't need to bulk up for football. I'm not playing interior lineman anytime soon. Pushing heavy weights around. Granted, that's hard to do. Pushing the sled around, that is conditioning plus, but that's not what I'm doing right now. And so when I went back to San Diego last year, I was like, I love that. How do I get that? I didn't want to go to CrossFit. They didn't have anything like it. I thought hey, we should start our own CrossFit kind of hybrid blend. It was like, I really like the idea, but I don't even know how to get there. I'm not like a trained person, and I probably should go to school and whatnot. So ironically enough, my sisters were here in the summer. What do they do? We went to get an ice cream cone from Foster Freeze. It's like this little place. It's near my house. And I noticed that there was a gym that was open. And I was like, oh my God, there's a real gym right here, right close to my house. This is great. And I never went down to that side of because I didn't eat the ice cream that often. And there was nothing down there anyway. And so I went in, I talked to this guy, Josh. He said, yeah, we're here. We've been open like about 2 months or so. And I'm like, really? How did I miss this? Because there had been like a women's gym there for years. But I never looked past that. And so I joined that gym, and for all summer long, and the classes are free. I never went to the classes. So like, I'll get there someday. So one day eventually came, and I said, I'm going to go to the high intensity interval training at 5:45 on Monday. And I went, and it was great. It's very, very similar to the Project iSweat. There's some elements like Project iSweat has gotten to be more like they've incorporated the heart rate monitors and stuff, so it's kind of like Orange Theory, whereas this one doesn't have it yet. But it's free. That's the best part. For $29 a month, it's $1 a day. I can go to the gym. I get, now granted, it doesn't have everything like I'm used to that would have it, like a 24-hour fitness or Golds or some of these unbelievable places with every conceivable machine and weight and thing is in there. It doesn't have that. This is pretty sparse. It's kind of like having a home gym away from home with a lot of space, but it's got the battle ropes and it's got a squat rack and a Smith machine and, you know, those kinds of things. And it's got a lot of Olympics and dumbbells. So it's pretty good in that regard. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me now for the price. And you get all the classes, so you can take Pilates, you can take, so we've done that. We've taken the HIIT training, so I'll go. I can't go Wednesday because I have to be somewhere. But I might go tomorrow and just do something if I'm able. Wednesday's off. Thursday, I don't know, maybe I'll go. Friday will be a HIIT training class in the morning that I'll probably attend if I'm able. And then Saturday is also a HIIT training class that I'll go with Christy. We like that, and we can go get some coffee, or vice versa, get the coffee and then go to HIIT. Now we probably can't do that. But we'll do something on Saturday. Because we like the class. It's good. And so, find myself in a good place, exercise-wise. And I have to say, there are times, like I've always been self-motivated, and I used to work out with someone, and then about 20 years ago, it was like I couldn't work out with anyone anymore because of children. So I've basically gone the last 20 years to the gym by myself. And I said in other shows, I've been going to the gym for 35 years, 4 days a week. That's a long time. That's a long time. And I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. It's not like, oh, I'm going to end this. No, not really. I'll probably go till I die. And I'm okay with that. And you actually said, well, yeah, you're going to be in such better, you're going to live longer. It's like, yeah, I'm going to live longer. But when you add up the sheer amount of time and effort that I've basically been going to the gym, it might be all those years that I lived longer, I was at the gym. So it has to be quality of life has to become the factor. It's like, well, how long? Maybe I'll live longer, but how good will I feel and look in the time that I'm alive? I think I'm doing all right. At 48, I'm almost 50, and I feel like I look at some other 48-year-olds. I'm like, dude, you look. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like freaking awesome, but I don't feel whatever 48 is supposed to feel like, or what I imagined 48 was supposed to feel like or look like. I feel like hey, maybe I'm just lying to myself. I'm like, you do kind of look, you're probably at home, you're like, Matt, you look 48. Like, okay, I feel like I look good for 48. Like, I don't look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I'm so wrinkled. I don't know if I have any wrinkles. Not really. I haven't shaved or showered this morning. But pretty wrinkle free. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, that's because you don't smile, Matt. And it's like, yeah, that's true. I don't smile a lot. I've never been a smiler. My mom was a huge smiler, My dad, not so much. My wife's super smiler, and one of my daughters is super smiler. Not a smiler. I don't know why. People say, oh, you look unhappy or something. I'm really not. I'm not unhappy. I'm kind of, but maybe I'm like nonplussed. My whole life I've just been sort of like nonplussed. Nothing's that awesome. Nothing's that terrible. And like, is that the way to go through life? I don't know. These are sort of existential angst questions that I think about. I never really thought about them for a long time. And now that especially with my wife, she'll say things like, oh, you don't seem all that happy. And I'm like, now I feel bad that I'm not happy. should I be happier? Should I be more excited? Like she kind of came to me last night and she's like, hey, you're getting killed on the fantasy football. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew that. Now, I knew that going into the weekend, so I wasn't super excited one way or the other, because my sister's team, this is the part that irks the crap out of me, she's got Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and somebody else, the running back, and they scored 63 points on Monday night. 63 points. So I'm like, I'm going into the Sunday, 63 points to 0. No, I had Gostkowski, so I had a little bit of a bump there. I had 12 points, but I was like, I'm never gonna win. You can't undo that unless Andy Dalton. Now Andy Dalton was coming off a bye week, so I played him. I probably shouldn't have, because anytime people come off the rest, their timing is off. All right, that's the end of our show. We'll pick it up in the afternoon with Eve. Hopefully she's got some more going on. I'm gonna take a listen to this audio.